What's good, world? It's your boy Sensei ripping them back again with another video. Apparently, Wallo has pissed some people off this weekend. For those who may not know, a viral video made its way on social media showing Wallo speaking at an engagement. Apparently, his comments about black businesses has rubbed people the wrong way. Okay, so let's check out this clip and play it a couple times for y'all. Then we're going to get into some of the people's reactions. Then, of course, I'll give y'all my take. And yeah, we'll go from there. All right, so with that being said, let's get right to it.
Oh, I'm black. No black people. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Kill that shit.
Ow.
Either you got a good business or you don't. All that shit, don't nobody want to hear that shit. That's a hustle. Support me because I got a black business. Is your restaurant clean? Is the food good? Do you got consistent cooks? Is the material on your shit good? Stop doing that. Oh, you support the white people? No, I support consistency, baby.
Yeah.
Well, fuck about what color you is. I'm gonna spend my money. That paper, I'm gonna spend them bills where the fuck I want to spend it at. Whether it's Porsche, Ferrari, Linda, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do while I'm here. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, I ain't gonna be finessed off some black shit. But one thing about it, 70% of you motherfuckers is not going to make it. I'm not no motherfucking fake ass motivational speaker that talk this dumb shit. I'm the number one nigga in the country. You know why? Y'all seen me come out of the penitentiary. I make millions and I make millionaires, baby. You understand me? I come from the ghetto. Us. Oh, I'm black. No black people. Nobody gives a fuck about that. Kill that shit.
Ow.
Either you got a good business or you don't. All that shit, don't nobody want to hear that shit. That's a hustle. Support me because I got a black business. Is your restaurant clean? Is the food good? Do you got consistent cooks? Is the material on your shit good? Stop doing that. Oh, you support the white people? No, I support consistency, baby.
Yeah.
Well, fuck about what color you is. I'm gonna spend my money. That paper, I'm gonna spend them bills where the fuck I want to spend it at. Whether it's Porsche, Ferrari, Linda, I'm gonna do what the fuck I want to do while I'm here. But I'm gonna tell you one thing, I ain't gonna be finessed off some black shit. But one thing about it, 70% of you motherfuckers is not going to make it. I'm not no motherfucking fake ass motivational speaker that talk this dumb shit. I'm the number one nigga in the country. You know why? Y'all seen me come out of the penitentiary. I make millions and I make millionaires, baby. You understand me? I come from the ghetto. Us.
All right, y'all, that is the video that has people upset with Wallo right now. As you can see, he's letting people know, listen, just because you're a black business does not mean I'm supposed to automatically support you, right? It's all about the quality of the service. Of course, let's get into some of these comments. Because like I said, people on social media, they went off, okay? I'm going to try to, get some real good answers. I don't want people just straight up hating. This one person said, this clown is after 15, just plain lazy. I don't know. Like I said, that's wild. I'm gonna just go past that. All right. Another person says, weirdo Wallo opens his mouth to talk down on the black community, inquired about reparations. Black folks should stop supporting him. Another person said, this is a real conversation that needs to be held. Until we see ourselves as decent human beings with integrity first, we will always be categorized. I mean that across the board. We are the only people that cling to a color because we so badly want an identity. So it's deeper than business. Another person says, bad service or not, I still support. You don't know what that person is going through that day. Okay, another person says, the irony is his people supported him and got him to where he is because he was black, okay? Like I said, a lot of people, upset at the fact that it seems like an attack at black businesses, right? As if white businesses don't have shitty service. You get what I mean? We see it in the headlines all the time. These fashion companies, they putting out racist clothing, and that doesn't stop people from supporting them. You know what I mean? When it comes to the hair stores, these owners are putting hands on our women. And does that stop us from, lining up around the corner to buy those bundles? No, it doesn't. There's a certain mentality that we've been conditioned to possess that automatically makes us shit on our own, but constantly take our money and support the opposing communities. You know what I mean? I understand. At the end of the day, we're going to do what we want to do with our money. We worked hard for that. Understand that, right? That's very understandable. However, considering where we are in this country right now, you know what I mean? With Trump, Elon, all these things are happening, and we're just sitting on the outside hoping that things fall in our favor. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, We generate billions of dollars, but we take majority of that money and support the opposition who is out, you know what I mean, to keep us down. This isn't a victim mentality. This is facts. You know what I mean? Certain businesses, they don't have access or resources like some of these bigger corporations. You get what I mean? Those are the ones who are really monopolizing the market, and making it harder for someone trying to start a business. Now, when it comes to our people, I understand. You want your money's worth. You know what I mean? Customer service, it has to be A1. I will admit, since COVID, a lot of these businesses, not just black businesses, all businesses, they've taken a step back when it comes to quality customer service. Because at the end of the day, they're trying to keep the lights on by any means. A lot of people, it's like this 9-to-5 hustle that we've been taking part in for, several decades. It's not enough. We're barely making enough money to keep the lights on. For those who work 2-3 shifts, they don't even get to enjoy the things that they pay for. You know what I mean? You're barely in your bed. You barely turn on your TV. It's a lot of challenges that we face as a community, that would attribute to, one having, subpar customer service, right? Or service that, you expect from other businesses when spending your money. But we just got to be realistic, man. We got to start talking to our people with grace and understanding and knowing that, this fight has been going on for centuries. And now that we have some successful people who, have appeared to make it out of these impoverished communities and neighborhoods, now all of a sudden you want to talk down or talk to your people in a certain way. And we got to stop that. Wallow's in the room. I'm seeing elders. He cursing and everything. There was a time we didn't do that. And Wallow's old enough. You know what I mean? We don't always have to use profanity to get our point across, man. We got to start talking to our people with grace and understanding that our people have been through a lot. It didn't just start when you were born, when I was born. We've been fighting for the most simplest basic shit, and we still got to fight for it to this day. But again, does that negate the point he was making about, expecting people to support you just because you have a black business? Listen, I understand that mentality, but we don't keep that same energy with all businesses across the board. You know what I mean? Like I said, these fashion companies, they could disrespect you, put out racist clothing, and people will still support it to this day. Just a couple months ago with the whole DEI controversy, people said, Joe, let's boycott Target. Let's boycott these corporations that are dropping this so-called DEI because it looks like y'all don't want to pander to the black community no more. And what happened? People boycotted those stores. They lost billions in revenue. And guess what? People still had something to say about it. At some point, we have to be willing to support and only support our community if we want to have a thriving economy for black people in America. We can't keep busting our ass, making everyone rich. Meanwhile, we're overworked and underpaid. So that's something to keep in mind. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, I get it. You don't want to just automatically throw your money at any business. But in order for us to thrive in this country, we have to have a responsibility in supporting our own and only our own. Come on. This is America. It's one big melting pot. You know what I mean? You can still support your own community, right? And then support others. But until we get to that place where we can honestly say, yo, we are making a mark right now when it comes to history, because right now it just feels like we're stagnant. We played the political game. We played the entertainment business. And overall, it isn't enough. But I know one thing, regardless of what year we're in, we got to talk to our people with grace and always have understanding of the fight that continues, the struggle that continues still to this day. It's not a victim mentality when acknowledging the facts. And the facts are there's many challenges that our people face when trying to run a successful business. Okay, that already existed before COVID. Now when COVID is in the picture, post-COVID, now people are going out shopping. You know what I mean? Everyone is pretty much resorting to these apps who are delivering things, delivering products. You know what I mean? People would rather spend their time at home in a controlled environment. You go to these malls, the malls are looking very empty. We're just going through a new phase, if you will. And people are trying to stay above float, as they say, right? Stay, keep from basically going out of business. And it's very hard, very hard. Like I said, Wallow, I get it. He's been through a lot. We've seen it. We've seen, his rise to fame, so to speak. You know what I mean? He was able to link up with Gilly, and they were able to get a great deal over there at Barstool Sports. But even the guy who runs it, he says some controversial things about Angel Reese. And a lot of people looked at Wallow and Gilly like, yo, are y'all gonna, stand on business and hold them accountable? And it's just one of those things where, once our people get a little money, become successful, or what we perceive as successful, now all of a sudden we start trying to talk down on our people. Come on, we can't do that. We gotta start speaking with grace. And like I said, and having understanding, right? And compassion for those trying to make it in this tough world right now, where it seems like the rich just keeps on getting rich, and the poor, it's not enough for us all. There is no middle class. You know what I mean? One could easily argue that. But right now, people are finding themselves working and barely being able to cover the bills, man. Utilities, rent. So knowing that, understanding why the game is rigged the way that it is, you would understand why our community constantly faces challenges when trying to run a successful business. Now, has that stopped our people from actually succeeding? No, it hasn't. You know what I mean? There is room for opportunity, but just know you will be facing many challenges to get to the top, whereas your opponent, your competitor, it's not the same trajectory for them. You know what I mean? Like I said, certain things that are pretty much kept behind closed doors, the information, the game. And this is why we must congregate, have these conversations. I don't necessarily look at Wallow, and what he's saying is completely a negative statement, because there is some truth to what he's saying. Certain people will try to hustle you. But again, we're trying to survive. The hustle doesn't just exist within the Black community. They're hustling you up at Wall Street. Look at the stock market. Everything is a hustle. The American dream is a hustle. So always keep that in mind when speaking about our people, to our people. Always keep that in mind, because again, I'm sure some of y'all are going to jump in the comment section and say that's a victim mentality. But in reality, this is the truth. Our community face many challenges when trying to run a successful business. You know what I mean? It's a lot of bullshit behind the scenes that we're all aware of, but you don't take that into consideration. You know what I mean? Even one person in the comment, they said, why not focus on the good businesses instead? I mean, that's a valid point. But the point is, you can't use our people to get to where you're going and then start thinking you got something over somebody because you done touched a couple M's. At the end of the day, the money comes and goes. We're not taking any of this with us. So what does it matter if you made millions, right? If you made millionaires? At the end of the day, our people are still trying to figure out how we can survive in this system where we're constantly being kept, at the bottom of the totem pole. Come on. And this is after we worked to help build this country for free for centuries. I don't care who gets pissed off when you say that, but that is true. You wouldn't have a thriving economy today if it wasn't for our community and the others who partook in building this country for free to get it to where you see, it generating billions of dollars to this day. And now our community's looking like shit. And now that we have a few people who are making money that could help restore the communities, now you want to hold them to these high expectations. Come on. Understand the world that we're living in. You know what I mean? Like I said, seeing Wallow speak, use a profanity around the elders. Come on, man. We got to do a little better in that regard. But again, y'all let me know. What are your thoughts on Wallow's comments in his video? Do you think people are overreacting, or do you think the criticism is valid, considering that it was the Black community who helped support and uplift Wallow and Gilly to where they are today? Again, let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. But look, that's all I got for y'all today. My name is Sensei Rip. Till next time. Peace. Salute world, I need y'all to do me a favor and check out my homie Grand Finale's latest video titled Less is More, okay? Available on YouTube right now. I'm about to bless y'all with a teaser. If you like what you hear, make sure to hit the link in the description to subscribe to the homie's channel. Also leave a comment and tell him that Rip sent you, all right? All right, y'all. Peace.
You starstruck, you stuck when I leave you in awe. What you saw had you floored as you picked up your jaw. Can't ignore, you were shook to the core. Couldn't endure what many claim they swore wasn't witnessed before. Earthquakes and aftershocks and tectonic plates and magma rock.
Thank you for watching my video. If you like what you see, make sure to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. And also, hit that notification bell to get the latest on hip-hop, sports, comedy, whatever. All right, we got you covered over here at Forgotten Kings TV. And also, click on one of these videos, okay? All right, y'all.